ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मृतं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to our ISKCON Bulla official YouTube channel. Today I am going to discuss 30th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, where adverse fruitive activities are being described by Lord Kapila to his mother Devavati. So this is the second question of mother Devavati about samsara. This answer will continue up to 32nd chapter. The 3 chapters, this is about samsara. This is being described. So in past 18 verses, Lord Kapila says about life and death of a person who acts in ignorance. Or may say miseries of an attached householder. In verse 6 it is stated, Atmajaya Sudagara Pasu Drabinabandhusu Nirudha Mula Hrudaya Atmanang Bahumanyate. Such satisfaction with one's standard of living is due to deep-rooted attraction for body, wife, home, children, animals, wealth and friends. In such association, the conditioned soul thinks himself quite perfect. He's quite okay. So in his purport, Siddha Swami says, Durmatitvam Darsayan Dukkham Prapanchayati. 14 verses from 4 to 17. This is Durmati. And this is foolishness being described. So in text 9, Lord Kapila says, Gruhesu Kutadharmesu Dukkha Tantresu Atandritaha Kurvan Dukkha Pratikaram Shukhavan Manyate Grihi. The attached householder remains in his family life, which is full of diplomacy and politics, always spreading miseries and controlled by acts of sense gratification. He acts just to counteract the reactions of all his miseries. And if he can successfully counteract such miseries, he thinks that he is happy. This is the position of this material world. In the purport, particularly those who are not devotees, the purport Srila Prabhupada Maharaj says, we should always remember that in spite of all diplomacy and all intelligence in the struggle for our existence, everything will end in a second by the Supreme Will. And therefore, all our attempts to become happy in this material world are simply a delusion offered by Maya. So, from 19 to 34, these 16 verses, Lord Kapila says, what happens after death? We don't know. Before death, before birth and after death, we don't know. But the Lord knows everything. Particularly here in these 16 verses, after death, what happens? It is being described. Text 19 it is stated that at death he sees the messengers of the Lord of Death come before him, their eyes full of wrath, and in great fear he passes stool and urine. So from 20 to 23, these 4 verses, this Lord says how what is our experience on the way to hell. The way to hell. In text 21, it is stated, while carried by the constables of Jamaraj, he is overwhelmed and trembles in their hands. While passing on the road, he is beaten by dogs, and he can remember the sinful activities of his life. He is thus terribly distressed. Then 24 to 28, these 5 verses states how experience at hell. So in text 24, the Lord says, he has to pass 99,000 jojans within 2 or 3 moments. And then he is at once engaged in the torturous punishment which he is destined to suffer. So in text 25, the Lord says, he is placed in the midst of burning pieces of wood and his limbs are set on fire. In some cases, he is made to eat his own flesh or have it eaten by others. In text 28, the Lord says, men and women whose lives are built upon indulgence in illicit sex, life after put into many kinds of miserable conditions in the hells, known as Tamisra, Andatamisra and Rovrava. The male person is forced to embrace a female made of iron, red hot iron, and he embraces it. Similarly, the ladies also. The woman will embrace the man made up of iron, red hot. She embraces like that. Illicit sex. That is the in ISKCON. We have to follow these 4 principles: no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, and no animal killing. Divtang Panang Striyang Suna Yatra Dharma Chaturvidha. These are the 4 pillars of irreligion or sin. These places are given by Parikshit Maharaj to Kali. So Prabhupada Maharaj from the very beginning has been very strict in following these instructions. We didn't lose the rules and regulations for ISKCON. Whoever will come, you have to follow these principles. Prabhupada Maharaj, many persons, advisors told Prabhupada Maharaj, if you stick to these principles, nobody will come. So Prabhupada Maharaj said, doesn't matter, but we have to follow these principles. These are the very basic principles. Is there any organization other than the Vaishnava organization which follows these rules? In Odisha, there is a statement, Magur Machar Jol, Navajivatir Kol, Peta Hariya Hariya Bol. You can eat even fishes, and you can indulge in illicit sex, but chant the name of the Lord. This is Apasampradaya. So many Apasampradayas are there, even in our Mahaprabhu's Sampradaya, as stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So they have to follow, they have to suffer in this way in the hell. We have forgotten. We have those who are in hell. They have this experience. We have forgotten. Even if we are in hell, we have forgotten. Of course, we will hear the symptoms of persons who have come from hell and who have come from heaven. The result is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. So in last verse, that is 34 verse, the Lord says, having gone through all the miserable hellish conditions and having passed in a regular order through the lowest forms of animal life prior to human birth, and having thus been purged of his sins, one is reborn again as a human being on this earth. You see, we have got this human form of life. So many statements are there. This is the most valuable life. But we don't understand it. We use it as when we are doing what we are doing. Those animals, these 4 principles, basic principles. Ahara Nidra Bhai Maithunam Cha, eating, sleeping, mating and defending. And this is the religion of animals, lower form of life. We have passed all these forms. Now we have been given this human form of life. So you should think. Those sober persons will ask, what is my duty? Just like Arjuna. Just Sriyasya Nishchitam Britan me. In Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, Arjuna says like that. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam, Saunaka, and other 88,000 rishis. Saunaka Rishi asked these questions. Tatra tatra anjasajasman bhavata ajad vinistam punshame ekantatasya. What is our duty? What is our aim? What is our goal? Nobody knows these things. Only in Vedic literatures that is being described. But if you don't follow this, how there will be our ultimate perfection? How can we do that? Scientists can do that? Or anybody else other than those who are following the Vedic principles or following the Vedic literatures. Thank you very much for listening to this lecture, and please don't forget to subscribe, share and like our channel and get the blessings of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.